Alright, it is FrOzenSwipe here, and I got a game of demolition on Slums for you. And I just want to say something real quick. I do realise that I was, meant to start uploading videos more frequently, but I've had an ear infection for the last few days, and any of you who have ever had an ear infection knows that they aren't exactly fun because they hurt like a bitch. And I was like partially deaf for a good while there. So yeah, it wasn't enjoyable at all, and I really was not in the mindset to do a commentary whatsoever. But I'm feeling better now. My ears don't hurt as much. I'm still, my hearing hasn't quite gone back to normal yet, I don't think. But I'll just do this commentary and see how it goes, and hopefully we can get something half entertaining video out there. So just to kind of hold you over until I'm actually able to put up some more. But anyway, moving onwards, I just want to say, if the gameplay does look a little bit wonky, it's a theater mode recording, so just kind of bear that in mind. Also, the fact, I think I joined this game late, I'm not entirely sure. I think I joined like halfway through the first round or so it's not too late, but I still managed to get a pretty decent score out of it in the end. I actually can't really remember what happens in this gameplay. All I know is that it's demolition, and I'm using the Vector K10 for most of it. I think I switched out to an LMG for a bit, but it didn't quite work out, and I just switched back to the Vector. So, yeah, anyway, it's a bit of demolition, different to the usual domination that I tend to post, and I hope you enjoy. But anyway, I hope you had a Merry Christmas, hope Santa got you everything that you wanted, and I also hope that you had, a Happy New Year, and that you will have a great 2013. I hope 2013 is going to be just as good, if not better to you, than 2012 was. And to be honest, for me anyway, 2012 is going to be a tough act to follow. 2012 was a pretty good year for me. I felt that I definitely matured a lot. I feel that I definitely became what I would consider to be a slightly better person. I think that's just from keeping to my two main resolutions of last year, which were to get in shape and to work on my fitness, and but more importantly, to become more sociable and slightly more extroverted instead of being ridiculously introverted, which I used to be. So I definitely feel that I've come along in that regard, although maybe not as much as I'd have liked. I mean, I'd still consider myself to be quite an introverted person, but I'm definitely not as introverted as I once was. I definitely feel that I can hold up a conversation better, and I can, I don't know, socialize with people that I don't really know as well, much better now than I could at the start of 2012. So I feel in that regard I've definitely improved. So, I feel that I've completed that resolution. But I want to know, what resolutions have you guys made for 2013? My resolutions for this year are to keep up the whole fitness thing, because, although to be honest, it would actually be pretty hard for me to give it up at this stage, because I've kind of developed almost a psychological dependence on it, because, if I don't do any form of exercise for a while, I start to feel like a fat lazy shit, and I don't like that feeling, and I try to do everything in my power to not have that feeling anymore. So it kind of becomes its own motivation, because if I don't do it, I just feel like a fat shit, and I don't like that. So yeah, it works in that sense. But the other thing is to get into the routine of studying more frequently, and just doing like I don't know, say an hour or so after homework every single night, as opposed to waiting until about 2 weeks until the exams and then cramming like fuck and having to do tons of work in those 2 weeks. If I can just space it out a lot more, it's going to make it so that the summer exams are not going to be anywhere near as stressful as the Christmas exams were, because if you saw there, I literally didn't have time to do anything. It was literally just, I'd go to school, I'd do homework, I'd study, and then I'd go to bed, and I'd just rinse and repeat. So yeah, that's not entirely fun. So if I can space out the study a lot more than I did, it means that the summer exams won't be as stressful, and it shouldn't be as big of a deal. The last thing I want to do, I want to try and stop biting my nails, and I think this is probably going to be the hardest one for me to stop doing, or the hardest resolution for me to keep up with, because I've always bitten my nails. It's something that I've always done, and I've never really tried to stop doing it before, and it's something that I'll often do without even thinking about it. Like, I'll just find myself biting my nails, and I don't even really realize. It just doesn't kind of register in my mind in any form of conscious thought. It's just something I kind of do. So that's obviously going to be something very difficult to give up. But anyway, I want to know what resolutions you guys have made for 2013, and I'm here to give you some tips as to how you can hopefully keep them up. Like, there are two kind of resolutions that people generally tend to make. Usually taking something up I'm going to use the example of physical fitness or some form of physical activity that will eventually benefit you in the long run. Okay, we'll go with the example of, let's just say, going to the gym, because anyone who's ever gone to the gym in January knows that's just jammed full of people who are there. You know they're there purely for their New Year's resolution, and you know that if you go in there by March, they won't be there anymore. You'll never see them again until maybe next January. But let's say you're going to devote yourself to going to the gym twice a week or 3 times a week maybe. The hardest part about going to the gym really is just motivating yourself to do it the first few times. I mean, the first time obviously is the hardest. Then the second time you've already done it, so you kind of know what to expect, so it's easier for you to go back. And then the more times you do it, the more experience you get at it, the less scary it is, and the less you have to motivate yourself to initially do it. And eventually you'll get into a routine once you're there, and you'll feel compelled to finish that routine no matter what, and especially if you push yourself. So, and then after a while, it'll become a habit after a couple of months. Like I said, it'll get to the point where if you don't do it, you'll start to feel like a lazy shit, and you don't want that feeling. So obviously it becomes its own motivation after a while. The other thing is giving up something, and this can be quite difficult. I'm going to use the example of just giving up snacking on foods unnecessarily. I mean, there are a couple of things you can do. You can if you replace this habit with a slightly less destructive habit, it does help. Instead of snacking on biscuits or crisps or whatever, you can just grab an apple, and that way you filled yourself up, but obviously you're not doing anywhere near as much damage as if you were to eat a bag of crisps or something like that. What else? You could also use I suppose negative reinforcement on yourself, but this would require quite a bit of self-discipline. It's hard for me to think of an example when it comes to food, but I'll think in terms of my nails, there's something that you can do. There's this stuff that you can get where if you put it on your nails, it tastes absolutely horrible. It's not harmful for you if you ingest it, but it tastes horrible. I think even just putting nail varnish on it would probably do the trick. It means that if I were to go to bite my nails, I'd get that taste, and it's obviously a very unpleasant stimuli, and I'd be discouraged from performing that behavior again. So you could try and use this idea of I think I may have said negative reinforcement there. I shouldn't have said that, actually. I should say positive punishment, in order to discourage yourself from performing the undesired behavior. But as always with giving anything up, it all comes into willpower and motivation. And the biggest thing is not to procrastinate and put it off. I'll just leave you with this: procrastination is like masturbation. Either way, you're just fucking yourself. But anyway, this has been FrOzenSwipe. I hope you guys enjoyed. Hope maybe you've learned something, and I hope that you have a great 2013. Thanks for watching.